Hey, Jason here. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how you can do anything you put your mind to. And I truly believe that. Why? A, I was raised like that by my parents to believe that you can do anything you put your mind to. B, I'm proof it can happen. I talked about this a little bit in the last video. Before about 11 years ago, I had no knowledge about finance, no knowledge about investment whatsoever. I took a want and need to learn about finance and investment and an interest in wanting to make money and become a business person, become an entrepreneur, into teaching myself everything I know about value investing, finance, business analysis, business entrepreneurship, because I wasn't able to go to college or university, have mentors, meet with people in person. A, because of my severe health issues, and B, because I didn't have anyone around me who was a business person, who could mentor me in kind of value investing, anything like that. I had to learn via books, video, audio, articles, blog posts. And again, I grew up in a, why didn't I have anyone even around me that could kind of help me with this, the business, especially value investing is kind of a niche thing, but business, why didn't I have anybody around me, even with my health issues, that could help me with business, become a business person, entrepreneur, all that kind of stuff. I grew up in a military family. My dad was in the Air Force for 22 years, I believe, 21 or 22 years. It's not a very, it was a great life, something that I actually planned to join. I planned to join the Air Force ever since I was a little kid, to the time I was, I believe, a junior in high school. Took the ASVAB test, got a really high score on it, said you could pretty much do whatever you wanted in the Air Force because you scored high enough. And then I found out, I went saw the Air Force recruiter, and he said you were disqualified because I had one seizure when I was 10 or 12 years old. I had one seizure that forever after that disqualified me from joining the military. So after that, and I'm kind of doing the quick version here. I'll link below in the resources section the kind of story I'm going through, my life story, or a brief view of my life story right now, what led me to where I'm at right now, and how I kind of got on this track that I'm still on today. But this is kind of the brief story, and because I've written about this on my blog, and I'll have the blog post link below that further kind of illustrates what I'm talking about here. But I'm just kind of giving the brief kind of overview right now, so you can, hopefully this illustrates the point that if you work hard enough, you can do whatever you want and work towards whatever goals you have, whatever they might be. So after I found out I got disqualified from the Air Force, I had to kind of scramble. I was in my junior year of high school, and I didn't know what to do. Ever since I was a little kid, that's all I was going to do, was join the Air Force. Travel the world like my dad did, and all that kind of stuff that I was brought up in. That entire life I was brought up in. So at that point, I was running track in high school, and I was pretty good. My fastest time in the 100 meter, I ran the 100 meter dash, 200 meter dash, and did long jump, and did sprint relays, 400 meter relay, 100 meter relay, those kind of things is what I did. I was a sprinter for the most part. So, and I was pretty decent. My fastest time in the 100 meter dash was 11.3, which wasn't great, but it was fast enough to where I reached out, where I just missed out on a state spot in the 100 meter dash finals, in the individual finals. And in South Dakota, I was living in South Dakota at the time when I was going through middle school and high school, and I just missed out on an individual spot, and I reached out to one of my high school track coaches at the time and had them kind of reach out to their contacts to see about going to university, to run track. And one, I believe it was South Dakota State University, reached out, the head coach for the track team reached out to me and said, with your times, you'd probably have to walk on the first year, and then after that, if you continue to improve and continue to work out and get better, you'll probably be on scholarship after that. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I love running track, I love working out, I love running, I'll do all that. Then I went to the state track meet and I tore both of my hamstrings and both of my calves at the state track meet. My very first race at the state track meet in a team relay. I worked out all summer, all next year to get back to kind of full health, and I did it again. I was back, and then my very first race back, my senior year track season of high school, my very first race, same race, 4x2, 100-meter relay. Tore both of my hamstrings again, like that, first race. So at that point, I had to start over again. I knew at that point my body was pretty much failing me because I was working out a ton, I was stretching a ton, I was doing everything I knew in my power to prevent those kind of things from happening, and my body was pretty much just giving out. So after tearing my hamstrings twice, both of my hamstrings twice and both of my calves once, I knew my body was failing me and I couldn't do that for my after high school plans. After that, probably 3 months after that, I started developing the severe dizziness issues that I still have to this day. I don't know what, they still to this day do not know what it's related to. They think either, it's one of three things. They think either I got some kind of cold and it got in my inner ear and destroyed the balance center of my inner ear. They think it's related to concussions. I played football when I was growing up and I got 7 or 8 minor concussions when I was growing up. They think it's related to that, or they think it's probably early onset MS, which is possibly related to concussions. Again, they still haven't diagnosed me with anything. They just kind of have these symptoms under control as of now. So I was getting back to kind of where I was at that point is when I was at my worst, I couldn't do anything other than with the dizziness. I couldn't do anything other than for 30 minutes a day, watch TV or read. And when I say I couldn't do anything, I mean I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get out of bed to do anything other than go to the bathroom or eat. I would have to just lay there on my side, either staring at the TV or sleeping, because if I moved at all, I would feel like I was going to throw up, or I would throw up. And this went on for literally probably 3 or 4 years. And then I slowly started to get better. I started to see an occupational therapist to retrain my inner ear, doing exercises, shaking my head back and forth, up and down, side to side, that kind of stuff. And I still held out hope that even though I was told by every doctor I ever saw, either they treated me like I was joking because of my age, they said they only saw this in people who were 80 years old plus, or B, they didn't know what the hell to do with me, because every test I've ever taken to this day has come back negative. Nothing has ever shown up that is wrong, quote unquote wrong with me, to this day. So after kind of exhausting my options, my mom found an occupational therapist who was a dizziness specialist that we saw, and she gave me those exercises that helped a little bit. Then I saw an eye doctor who gave me these, I have prisms in my glasses that help take some strain off my eye muscles and help alleviate some of the dizziness. That helps still to this day. And then the last kind of piece of the puzzle was I'm on some medication. I have an imbalance in my norepinephrine and serotonin. And those kind of 3 things have helped me get everything under control. So what did I do as I slowly got better? When my wife, me and my wife, we are high school sweethearts. So she's been around this entire time that I've dealt with all this. So she stuck around. Yes, I'm very, very, very lucky. I know this. Through all of this, through missing almost the entire 20s of my entire life, where she couldn't do much because I couldn't do much. She wanted to hang out with me, and then I couldn't do much. And yes, again, I know I'm very, very, very lucky to have her stick around. She's a very, very strong woman who I love very deeply, even still to this day. We've now been together coming up on, 2000, so almost 15 years now. We've been together. And Yeah, so I was just a different thought there, but that was a different topic. But so let's kind of get back to how I got back on this track that I'm on now. So after years of dating and dealing with this, after getting out of high school and then dating for years and then getting married, we found out we were pregnant with our first child. And I remember to this day her exact words. I was sitting there playing FIFA Soccer on my PlayStation 3, and she came out of the bathroom and said, "Babe, I'm pregnant." I looked at her, I said, "Okay," went back to playing. A couple seconds later, my mind finally registered what was going on, and I was like, "What?" And she said, "Babe, I'm pregnant." And we got up, hugged and kissed and all that, and then I thought, oh shit. Not because I was scared necessarily, although I was scared, it was the first kid and all that stuff, but because I was still at that point feeling horrible. Even though I was a little bit better, I could do stuff at that point for maybe 1 to 3 hours a day, depending on the day, without feeling terrible. I had no skills, I had no degrees, I had no job skills, no really life skills, and I could do only things for like 1 to 3 hours a day. I couldn't get a job, I couldn't go to school, I still couldn't do anything at that point. So I thought, oh shit. The reason I thought, oh shit, was because I immediately went to the place where I have to do something to learn how to provide for my growing family at some point. Even if it's not now, even at some point in the future, I have to learn a skill set, knowledge, something I can do. Even if I never get any better, any more healthy, I have to figure out something I can do from home in 1 to 3 hours of time that I can make money on. And immediately I thought of, or the next day I sat down and thought of 3 things: become a politician. Nobody likes politicians, and I'm a terrible liar, so that would have been, so that was out. Becoming a writer, I was terrible at that time, so that was out. And then I remember in my high school consumerism class is what it was called. You learn about, it's a general kind of catch-all class where you learn things like how to write checks, how to get a credit card, how to get a car loan, kind of how to do apply for college loans, stuff like that. But the kind of overarching thing that stuck with me from there is a lesson about compound interest, and there was a short kind of concept or a short couple week session on investing, and it was very interesting even to me then. So I still remember this years later, and so that's kind of what I stuck on, is that I need to learn about investing. So that is kind of what set me on this track. At that point, I had zero knowledge about investing, zero knowledge about finance, zero knowledge about value investing. I don't even remember if I knew who Warren Buffett was other than his name. I definitely didn't know how to value anything. I hated reading. I had zero skills. I had zero life skills. I had zero personal skills and zero business skills. And I had zero college credits. I couldn't go to college. I could do things. I could only do things for 1 to 3 hours a day. The only thing I had really kind of going for me in my life was my wife, and that my wife was pregnant. That was it. And my family, my parents, my brother, and that was it. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't go outside. I had friends, but I couldn't do anything with them. That was it. So why am I telling you all this? Because if I can do this with my massive disadvantages, literally losing, what are we at now? A total of, started in the summer of, I graduated in 2005, so the dizziness started in 2004. So we're coming up on almost 14 years now. So I've lost the better part of 13 years of my life. I'm 31. So what is that? 31. So I've lost the better part of 42% of my life to severe health issues up to this point. If I can do this, you can do this. Again, if I can do this with my massive, massive disadvantages, you can do this with your connections, mentorships, colleges, certifications, universities, probably most importantly, time. You can do this. You can do anything you put your mind to. I was raised like this, and I believe this to be not only one of the most powerful lessons I've learned in my life, but hopefully one of the most powerful lessons I can teach you in your entire life as well. If you believe you can do something, actually I believe it was Henry Ford? Whether you can or cannot, what is the exact quote? Whether you can or cannot, whether you believe you can or cannot, both are true. Something along those lines. Meaning, if you believe you can do anything. If you believe you can't do anything. The power of belief and you believing you can do anything is ultra important. This is why I have a major problem with the victimhood mindset that is big in the United States. I've had a lot of advantages in my life in terms of family structure and having very close family around me. Of course, my girlfriend, now wife, staying with me over these severe health issues, stuff like that. But I've also had a ton. Again, I've lost almost 42% of my life to severe health issues. That's just insane just to think about. I've never actually thought about that before. 42% of my life to severe health issues. That's just mind-boggling to me right now. I've never actually calculated that number out. Sorry. That's incredible to me. So if I can do this, the point I'm trying to get across here is that if I can get where I'm at now, and again, I'm not where I want to be. It's not been easy. It's been extremely hard. It's extremely frustrating. It's still frustrating to this day, because I still, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as somebody who's trying to reach lofty, lofty, lofty goals, I want to be known as the best business person, value investor. By the time my career is over, I want to be known as the best business person, value investor this world's ever seen. Again, so I can help as many people as I possibly can and change the world in a number of positive ways. I don't care about having billions and billions of dollars from a personal level. All I want to do is travel. But I have big goals to help billions of people, millions and billions of people. So that requires a ton of money. That's why I want money and capital. But to reach towards those goals every day, and I put an enormous amount of pressure on myself. Just the other day, I think it was 3 days ago, I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Why don't I just get a normal job? Why am I putting myself through this? Why am I hiring team members? Why am I worrying about so much stuff all the time? Why am I trying to reach these kind of goals? All of that. Pretty much I was having for lack of a better term, I was feeling sorry for myself because I was having a little bit of a rough day and things were going as I planned. So why am I saying that? Because if you are going on this journey, whether it's learning a new skill, whether it's trying to change the world, whether it's trying to make millions or billions of dollars, whether it's whatever your goals are, there is going to be adversity. There are going to be hard days. There are going to be hard times. What I'm hoping to do with this video is that, and this kind of foundational pieces throughout this entire week, is to show you, again, that even though I'm not at my goals yet, that if you put your mind to anything, you can do anything you want. Is it going to be easy? No. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be worth your time, because it wouldn't be enjoyable once you actually reach another level. of where you're kind of going. But again, whatever your goals are, personal life, family, whatever your goals are in each of those kind of aspects, you can do whatever you want if you are willing to put in enough time, if you are willing to put in enough work, if you are willing to learn enough skill sets, if you are willing to find people to mentor you, if you are willing to pay for courses, whatever the case may be, if you are willing to learn and put in the time, you can do anything you put your mind to. I hope this has helped, and I hope this entire week has helped. It's kind of set the foundation of everything we're going to be doing in this course. Not only just for this course. I want to help you throughout your entire kind of personal business and business lives as well. So I hope these kind of foundational value investment pieces that we're talking about help throughout your entire life as well, because these pieces can help outside of value investment as well. One of my big beliefs, along with you can do anything you put your mind to, is self-belief. For a long time, I had very little self-belief, and I think 99% of it was due to my health issues. And just over the last couple of years, I've really, as my kind of skills have developed in terms of value investing, and my results have begun to not necessarily improve, but have continued to stay exceptional, is where my self-belief that I actually know what the hell I'm talking about in the value investment and finance arena, has my kind of self-belief begun to help. And I believe it was Gary Vaynerchuk who said if he could create one drug in the entire world, it would be self-belief. That's how strongly and if you watch Gary Vaynerchuk, he has a lot of self-belief, and he believes that is his single biggest factor to his success, is self-belief. And if that's one way I can help you as well, is I truly believe that every single person on this earth, if they're willing to work hard enough, they get the opportunity, more importantly, to meet somebody and express their skills, express their knowledge, and get in the right place, they can do great things, not just good things. They can achieve greatness, and I'm happy to be a part of helping you achieve your greatness, whatever that greatness and your goals are. I'm glad to be a part of that in any way I can. Again, even if it's outside of the value investment and finance arena, if there's any way I can help you, let me know. And I will see you in next week's sections, which we will begin going actually over value investment terms and terminology. Kind of the more fun stuff. Again, this week was all about foundational pieces. Next week, we're going to be going over more of the fun stuff when it comes to value investment and finance, some of the more technical aspects. I hope this week has helped, and I will see you in the next week.